For today's lesson, you're going to be looking at equations with brackets. This is on page 14 of your booklets, so make sure you have those out and in front of you. And as I go through the examples, you're going to make sure you're putting them into your booklet as well. So we've got to expand brackets, we use the distributive law. And the distributive law states that A brackets B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. We did have a look at this previously when we were looking at the area of a rectangle. So if we have a rectangle that looks like this, and it has an area of 2 by 3, then we would calculate the area of this rectangle by doing length times breadth, which would be 2 times 3. If we, instead of having 3, if we knew that one side length was 3 and another part of that side was x, then we could still write the area of our rectangle using L times B, but this time, although our length is still 2, our breadth would be 3 plus x. I could also say that the area of this part is 2 times 3, and the area of this part would be 2 times x. So hopefully that helps you to see that this 2 here needs to get multiplied by the 3 and multiplied by the x. So an understanding of that will help us when we come to solve these equations. So when we solve an equation, we're going to look to collect like terms as well. And remember, they contain exactly the same pronumerals. And we're going to first expand the brackets and then collect the like terms. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite equation A down here. And I've got the equation 3 brackets P plus 4 is equal to 18. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in my eyebrows or my whoop-whoops or my rainbows or my crab claws, whatever you want to call them. And those two lines are going to remind me that I need to multiply along both lines. So I'm going to do 3 times P, which gives me 3P. And then I'm going to do 3 times 4, which gives me 12. And that's still equal to 18. I haven't changed the value of anything there. Now I've got an equation without brackets, I can solve it. So I'm going to take away my 12 from both sides, and I'm left with 3p is equal to 6. 3 lots of p, the opposite of times 3, is divide by 3. And what I do to one side, I do to the other, so that p equals 2. I've solved my equation. Okay, when we look at equation B, we've got negative 12, oops, forgot my one, negative 12 outside of 3q plus 5 equals negative 132. Forgot to close my brackets there. Okay, so then same thing, I'm going to start by expanding out my brackets. So I'm going to do negative 12 is going to go to each of those 2 points. So I'm going to follow this first line and I'm going to do negative 12 times 3q. So negative 12 times 3 is negative 36 times by q. So we've got q. And then I'm going to trace the second line. So I've got negative 12 and I'm multiplying negative 12 by positive 5. So negative 12 times positive 5 gives me negative 60, and that's still equal to negative 132. I'm just going to quickly erase this info over here. No, I'm not, because I can't figure out how to do it. Oh, I'm sure you'll all cope. Okay, so now we've got negative 36q minus 60 is equal to negative 132. So I'm going to solve my equation, and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to add 60. The opposite of taking away 60 is adding 60. So then I've got negative 36q is equal to negative, so negative 132 plus 60 is 72. Then we divide by negative 36. Divide by negative 36, the coefficient, the number in front of Q. And we get Q is equal to negative 72 divided by negative 36 is 2. All right, so then I'm going to move, I'm hoping. Okay, so I've just taken a new slide here just so that I've got C and D and some space to work with them. So you should have A and B already on your page. So question C, we have 4 brackets 2x minus 5 plus 3x equals 57. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand out my brackets. So I'm going to put my lines in from the number outside the brackets to every term inside the brackets so that I remember to multiply. So along my first line, I'm going to do 4 times 2x, which is going to equal 8x. And then I'm going to do 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. I haven't done anything with this 3x here yet, so it gets carried down as well. We still have it there, and our equation is still equal to 57. Now I've got like terms. My 8x and my 3x have exactly the same pronumerals. So that means that I can add them together and I will get 11x, 8x plus 3x, minus 20 equals 57. Then we can add 20, okay, and we're going to get 11x is equal to 77, 57 plus 20. Then we're going to divide by 11 so that we're getting one lot of x equals 7. All right, for question D, just seeing whether I can move my page a bit. Here we go. For question D, I'm just going to do it over on this side. It'll be a little bit on the page, a little bit off the page. We get 2 brackets 3k plus 1 equals 5 brackets 2k minus 6. Okay, so again, we've got to expand our brackets first, and this time we've got 2 sets of brackets that we need to remember to expand out. So I'm going to multiply my 2 by the 2 terms on the inside of those brackets and my 5 by the 2 terms on the inside of those brackets. So 2 times 3k is going to give me 6k. 2 times positive 1 plus 2, equal sign underneath the other one. 5 times 2k is 10k. And then 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. So now we've got an equation where we've got pronumerals on both sides of the equation. So hopefully you can remember we're trying to get our pronumerals onto one side and our numbers onto the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 away from this side, which means I have to take 2 away from this side. So then I have 6k equal to 10k minus 32. Keep in mind that when we've got this, we've got negative 30 and take away another 2. So that's how we get to negative 32. Then I need to get my k's onto the other side. So I'm going to minus 10k. And I'm going to do that from both sides as well. 6k minus 10k is going to be negative 4k is equal to negative 32. Then I need to get one lot of k, so I'm going to divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. So that one lot of k is equal to 8. Now, when you're doing these equations, it's really important that you are showing your working. So the way that I have shown my working here is a really good way to do it. Think about, you need to draw in your lines from the number on the outside to each term inside the brackets. Where possible, keep your equal signs underneath each other. This just helps to keep the balance and help you see what's happening on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Where I've shown my working, like over here where I've put in my -2s, and here where I've put my -10k and divide by -4, this line of working is a really important line. It's showing that you know what you're doing, okay? And I would really like it if you would start ensuring that you include that line everywhere. It doesn't matter if you don't use a different colour pen. I use a different colour because I like how it stands out, and when I'm giving an explanation it makes it a lot easier. But I really want you to ensure that you're at least writing it, and writing it on both sides of the equation to make sure you're remembering to do it on both sides. The final thing that I need to let you know, and you have this information on page 15 of your booklet, is the questions you are doing with this. So this is looking at exercise 2E. Okay, and you've got the questions there for foundation, standard and advanced, and that's what you're going to be working on. In the second half of the lesson, you're going to be looking at pages 16 and 17, which is a colour by number task. And I would like all of those things to be finished by next Monday. Hope you have a great lesson, and I'll see you all on Monday.